Imagine waking up one day with a challenge. You can only spend $10 each day for an entire month. That's your total budget for food, transportation, fun, and everything else. Could you do it? Would you end up feeling trapped? Or could you actually find joy in living with less? At first, it sounds impossible. After all, most people spend more than that without even thinking. But what if this challenge could teach you something surprising about your money, your habits, and even your happiness? This isn't just about surviving on less, it's about rethinking how we live. By stepping out of the comfort zone of regular spending, you might discover smarter ways to save, creative ways to meet your needs, and even a new perspective on what really matters in life. In this video, we'll dive into the real strategies and science behind living frugally. You'll learn how others have thrived on tight budgets, get practical tips to try it yourself, and explore the deeper lessons this experiment can teach about money and happiness. By the end of this video, you might not just ask, can I live on $10 a day, but also, should I try it? Let's find out. Number 1. The rules of the game, defining $10 a day living. Living on $10 a day might sound simple, but there are some important rules to make it fair and realistic. First, this budget covers everything you spend daily: food, transportation, entertainment, and any extras. However, big fixed costs like rent, car payments, or insurance are not included because they don't change day to day. To stick to $10 a day, you'll need to plan carefully. Every choice matters: what you eat, how you get around, and even how you spend your free time. There's no room for random spending or expensive habits. This challenge isn't just about cutting back. It's a way to get creative, rethink how you use money, and discover alternatives you may not have considered. Whether it's cooking from scratch, walking instead of driving, or finding free ways to have fun, $10 a day living pushes you to make smarter, more intentional choices. Number 2. Could it be done? A case study approach. Living on $10 a day might feel extreme, but it's not impossible. History shows us that people have lived on much less during hard times. During the Great Depression, families survived by growing their own food, reusing everything, and swapping goods with neighbors. It was tough, but they made it work by being resourceful. Even today, some people live on tiny budgets, either by choice or necessity. For example, there are minimalist bloggers and YouTubers who take on frugal living challenges to save money and simplify their lives. They share creative tips like meal prepping, using community resources, and finding free entertainment. Some even rely on bartering, trading their skills or items they no longer need. One inspiring story is of a single parent who had to live on less than $10 a day after losing their job. They learned to cook nutritious meals for cheap, walked or biked to save on gas, and found free clothes at donation centers. Not only did they survive, but they discovered how little they actually needed to live a good life. These examples show that while living on $10 a day isn't easy, it's possible. People have done it before and continue to do it today by being mindful of every dollar. This kind of challenge forces you to think differently, be more resourceful, and even appreciate the small things in life. Could you do it? It might just surprise you. Number 3. The science of frugality. Why it's hard but worth it. Living on $10 a day isn't just about money, it's also about how your brain handles choices and stress. Scientists say that when you have a tight budget, you can feel decision fatigue. This means your brain gets tired from constantly figuring out how to stretch every dollar. Deciding between a loaf of bread or a bus ticket might not seem like a big deal, but when you make choices like this all day, it can feel exhausting. However, there's also good news. Studies show that living simply can boost happiness in unexpected ways. When you spend less, you may notice and appreciate the small things more. This is called hedonic adaptation, where people get used to things they already have. By living on less, you focus on what's really important: family, health, or free activities like walking in nature. Frugality can also teach you powerful habits. Behavioral finance experts explain how it changes your mindset. You start to see value in everything, like realizing how much cheaper home-cooked meals are compared to takeout. Over time, you build discipline and creativity, which can help you save more money in the future. Though living on a strict budget is hard, the lessons stick with you. You learn to manage stress, think critically about your spending, and even feel proud of living smarter. It's not just about surviving, it's about growing stronger and changing the way you look at money. Number 4. Practical strategies. Thriving on $10 a day. Living on $10 a day may sound impossible, but with smart strategies, it's doable. Here's how to make it work and even thrive while staying on budget. Food is often the biggest daily expense, but you can save big with planning. Start by creating a weekly meal plan based on cheap, filling staples like rice, beans, pasta, eggs, and seasonal vegetables. For example, a simple lunch of rice, lentils, and veggies costs just a few dollars. Shop at discount stores or farmers markets and look for sales or bulk deals. Cooking from scratch is key. Pre-packaged meals are usually more expensive. Another idea is to batch cook meals and freeze portions for busy days. You might even explore food-sharing apps or community food pantries to find free resources. Cutting transportation costs is essential. If possible, walk or bike instead of driving. It's free and good for your health. Use public transit for longer trips and look for discounts or passes that lower the daily cost. Carpooling with friends or coworkers can also save money. If you drive, plan your trips to minimize gas usage. Save on utilities by being mindful of energy use. Turn off lights and unplug devices when not in use. Use free Wi-Fi at libraries or cafes instead of paying for internet at home. For heating or cooling, rely on layers of clothing or natural ventilation instead of cranking up the thermostat. Entertainment doesn't have to cost money. Explore free activities like hiking, visiting public parks, or attending free local events. Borrow books, movies, or games from the library instead of buying them. Swap skills or items with friends to access new hobbies or gear without spending. Get creative with finding free or low-cost resources. Join community swap groups for clothing or household items. Take advantage of free online classes to learn a new skill or hobby. With planning, creativity, and discipline, thriving on $10 a day isn't just possible. It can be a fun and eye-opening challenge. Number 5. The deeper takeaways. Beyond the budget. Living on $10 a day isn't just about saving money. It's about discovering what truly matters. When you strip away unnecessary spending, you learn powerful lessons about yourself and the world around you. One big takeaway is the value of self-discipline. When every dollar counts, you start making smarter choices and focusing on what's most important. Over time, this discipline can help you in other areas of life, like setting goals or overcoming challenges. You may even find a new appreciation for small things, like a home-cooked meal or a quiet evening with family. Living frugally also makes you rethink consumerism. You realize that many of the things we buy don't actually make us happier. Experiences, relationships, and health often bring more joy than new gadgets or fancy meals. This shift can make life feel simpler and more fulfilling. There's also a hidden benefit for the planet. Spending less often means using less. When you consume fewer resources like energy or packaged goods, you reduce waste and your carbon footprint. Living frugally isn't just good for your wallet, it's also good for the environment. Ultimately, living on $10 a day challenges you to see what really matters. It's not about deprivation, it's about living smarter, appreciating more, and finding happiness in unexpected places. Number 6. The final challenge. Could you do it? Now that you've learned the strategies and lessons of living on $10 a day, here's the real question. Could you try it yourself? It's not just about saving money. It's about testing your creativity, discipline, and ability to adapt. Start by setting a goal. Maybe you want to save for something important or just see how far you can stretch your dollars. Track your spending each day and find ways to cut costs, like cooking at home or using free community resources. Look for alternatives that don't cost money, such as free events or outdoor activities. Share your journey with friends or on social media. It might inspire others to rethink their spending too. Remember, it's not about being perfect, it's about learning and growing along the way. So, are you ready for the $10 a day challenge? You might surprise yourself with how much you can do. Living on $10 a day might seem impossible at first, but it's more than just a money-saving challenge. It's a chance to rethink your lifestyle and priorities. By cutting back on unnecessary spending, you discover how little you actually need to live well. You learn to appreciate small joys, like a homemade meal or a walk in nature, and develop habits that can make your life simpler and more fulfilling. Whether you try it for a day, a week, or a full month, living on $10 a day can be an eye-opening experience. It's not about deprivation. It's about making smarter choices and focusing on what truly matters. Who knows? This experiment might just change how you live for the better. Now, if you want to learn how to achieve financial success, then watch this video next. If you made it to this point in the video, please like and subscribe to the channel to see more content like this. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.